Boy, Iceman, and Bob. I wanted to talk to you all about the 2023 Sony TV lineup. It is finally here. No more speculating, no more scratching our heads, no more guessing, trying to figure out what Sony's going to come out with. We now finally know. So I'm going to go through and show you all what we currently have and just give you a little bit of feedback and a couple of comments in between. Feel free to come in to the live chat and make yourselves at home. Go ahead and say whatever it is that you would like to say. I generally don't get to talk about Sony TVs as often as maybe you all would like. So I'm trying to change that up here for 2023. Nonetheless, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to show you all the current lineup and we'll go ahead and get into it. What's up, Kmar? I haven't gone live at all on my channel yet. So this is my first live stream for you all. I'm going to try to do some more lives. I've just been crazy busy. I have another channel that I also run, having two channels full time, two separate different categories and genres. It's absolutely crazy on top of everything else. So I stay busy. You all know I'm not just reviewing TVs, I'm examining them, measuring them, calibrating them, looking at this, game footage, TV footage, you name it. It gets crazy to say the least. But I'm going to try to get more content out to you all. Let's get into this Sony thing. I want to kind of address what Kemar is actually saying. So if you all look on the screen, he says, "Are you sold on the 2000 nits for Sony?" Here's what I'm going to say. I did the math, okay? If you, let me show you, let me just show y'all something real quick. All right, let's do this, okay? Let me show y'all something to see if I can get this here to pop up for you all. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to try to do something, and then we're going to get into the lineup with TVs. I don't know if, there we go. Okay, so you all should be able to see the calculator on the screen. We're going to do this together, okay? Now, what I want you all to see is the current Sony nits for the A95K, all right, is essentially, we're going to do a conservative and say 1050 nits. Okay, when you measure the A95K, that's essentially what you would get. I'm going to leave it there at 1050. We could bring it down to 1000. I'm trying to be generous here, all right? So this is the A95K nits for 2022. Now, Sony is claiming the A95L is 200% brighter, okay? So we're going to come over here and we're going to go ahead and hit 200%, right? Okay, you all see, and this is what I came up with. It's essentially 2100 nits. That is the same number that LG is claiming that their G3 will hit with MLA. All right, both Sony and LG are essentially 100 nits brighter than Samsung, the S95C. Samsung said 2000 nits. LG said, hey, we can beat that with MLA. Sony saying, hey, we can beat that. Now, all of these numbers, y'all, are going to be in dynamic, vivid, whatever version of vivid mode, depending on the respective TV. It's not going to be in your calibrated mode. It's not going to be in any type of accurate mode. And being that this is Sony, we all know about Sony and their accuracy. No one's going to be running their TV, for the most part, outside of a few exceptions, in any type of vivid mode. So in reality, I'm not buying that 2000 nits or 2100 nits. It can probably hit that, but no way is Sony going to push the envelope that much. I'm going to say it's probably going to be around 13 to 1500 nits calibrated. I say the same thing about the LG G3, as well as currently what we know with the Samsung S95C outside of any firmware updates. I just don't know. Sony is generally conservative, and I just can't see them really pushing the envelope to win the brightness war in terms of actual numbers. It doesn't mean that it won't be bright. I'm not saying that. It will definitely be bright, but I just can't see them actually pushing the envelope because Sony is all about being conservative, giving you a reliable picture, quality, that image, that brightness, consistency, etc., etc. So I mean, yeah, it may be able to touch that number, but that's not going to be a sustainable number at all, nor will it be something that you would really want to have it in that particular mode, especially for longevity's sake. So I know Sony's about reliability and longevity. I just cannot see them actually really coming out with that number. I think it's a marketing trick to get us hyped up on Sony, just like all the companies are doing. Uh, Kimar says, remember when the A90J was 1300 nits? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So what I want to do is let's get this boring calculator off the screen. All right, and we're going to go ahead and pull up. Let's actually do this, okay? I'm gonna change a little something for y'all, okay? We're actually going to do this. Let's take a look at this here. All right, and we're gonna go through the lineup. All right, give me 1 second here. I just kind of wanted to go through this and provide some Sony content because, again, for those of you that have been following me for a while, you're like, hey, where's the Sony content? I plan on getting more out. I'm just more on the gamer side. Don't get me wrong. I love my movies. I love my television shows. When I sit down to watch, I watch. When me and the wife and the son and the family, we sit down and watch, or we watch now. We'll binge watch. So I do care about picture quality and accuracy and all of that. But for me, I just care about the overall visuals. I mean, I'm a little bit more flexible. And that's why with my hobbyist calibrator aspect or perspective, I generally just, I'm more flexible because I know I can tweak it and calibrate it and set any TV pretty much the way that I like it. And then boom, it's done. And it just looks good regardless of the particular look. So let's get into the lineup here. All right, I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit. Let's turn the music down maybe a lot of bit, but nonetheless, we're going to get into this, okay? So I'm going to kind of replay directly the Sony announcement, and let's just take a look, okay? All right, so right out the bat, I just kind of wanted to pause there. We got the lineup. So we have the Sony X90L, then we have the Sony X93L. Here's the confusing part about the Sony X93L. The X95K. Okay, isn't that kind of confusing? Then we got the X95L that you see in the middle, which is a completely new TV. Okay, this is a completely new TV. If you can look at the screen and see the cursor, it is this X93L is the one that's actually replacing the X95K that we have for 2022. This is the one with the backlight master drive, okay? And this X90L, obviously that's going to be like their entry level. I think it's going to be good. Sony's been stepping up their quality year after year. I mean, really, all TV makers have been doing it, but nonetheless, Sony has, even for their entry level. Now, I know for us purists, that's not going to be the TV of choice, but for someone wanting to get into the game, I think it's a great entry level. Obviously, over here, we have the A95L, okay? And then that's the QD OLED. And then we have the A80L, which replaces, the previous 22 A80. All right, okay. So anyway, let's kind of listen to it.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Larry with Sony, here to talk to you about another incredible product or products. That's right. It's that time of year where I finally get the opportunity to share with you some details about our brand new lineup of 2023 Sony Bravia XR televisions. So let's jump right in.
That's what's up. Yo, Sony. Yo, Sony. Yeah. What you got for me? What you got for me? Yeah.
So let's start with the features that are shared by most of the models. And now, stop me if you've heard this before, but when it comes to television, Sony likes to focus on the most important part, and that's picture quality. And this is achieved with state-of-the-art technologies and advanced picture processing, namely the powerful cognitive processor XR.
Now, I do want to pause very quickly here. We don't have a new XR processor for 2023, but we do have a tweaked processor for 2023. So it's going to give us certain new advanced features, that of which we are going to see in just a second, but I did want to comment and elaborate on that. All right, let's continue.
And this year, we get some updated features. First of which is XR Clear Image, which partners with XR 4K upscaling to improve picture clarity, and it also reduces noise when upscaling from lower resolution content.
Okay, that right there is one of the most things that I'm excited for. Now, let me explain something about this clear image upscaling. The clear image upscaling, essentially what it's going to do is, for those of you that watch lower bit rate content, it's going to clean up the image as if it's almost 4K. Like, it won't be exactly up to 4K specs, but it'll be so close, who cares? Shrug shoulders. It's going to look good. Obviously, it's a Sony. So it's going to help clean up a lot of your content if that's what you watch. And I do hear complaints from perhaps people that maybe own LGs as well as Samsung, even the S95B, maybe their 8K, TVs and things of that nature. And some people will say, well, hey, I still watch my regular SDR and I just wish it had a little bit more. Sony's definitely going to deliver once again on this front. They've always delivered on this front, but they're going to step it up a notch. I think this is really great. Okay, so let's continue.
Scaling to improve picture clarity, and it also reduces.
Y'all saw that? Look at that. Look at the difference. So this is it blurry.
Partners with XR 4K upscaling to improve picture clarity, and it also reduces.
That's off the chain, y'all. Check this out too. With this is what things would normally look like. So in this example, we have the wings here. Okay, they have the wings. Over here, you have everything cleared up. Okay, so y'all see everything is cleared up here. This is good. Okay, this is really, really good. Everything is cleared up and nice. I think this is going to be an edge that is going to give Sony the win again at the TV shootout because of these features and these things, as if they didn't already have the edge in the image processing. Now they add a couple of features like this to keep them in the lead.
Noise when upscaling from lower resolution content. XR Clear Image reduces random noise, mosquito noise, and jaggies. And I bet you didn't know that was called mosquito noise and jaggies, all of which plagues today's lower than 4K content, digital broadcast, and your streaming content. The depth control algorithm has also been enhanced, and this gives you a more immersive experience while you're watching your content. This, as well as the latest and greatest picture formats like Dolby Vision, Netflix Adaptive Calibrated Mode, Bravia Core Calibrated Mode, and IMAX Enhanced, all means that you're in for a real treat during your next movie night. And speaking of that, your 2023 Sony Bravia XR TV also comes with the Bravia Core app, which is a great place to find 4K HDR movies, and it has recently been updated to support Dolby Atmos. And this is where I want to let you in on a little secret. You see, newly purchased 2023 XR televisions even come with movie credits already in the app.
What?
And just like all Sony Bravia XR TVs, these also get seamless control UI, which gives you control for Sony compatible sound systems right on the screen.
Okay, so I want to pause and just take a look at that because, generally we don't essentially get to take a look at some of these features here. So we can kind of see the screen. One thing that I see here, Sony's really integrating their sound. They're really integrating their video. They're really giving you that refined experience when it comes to the experience of watching as well as listening to your content. You have all of these modes here, which I think are very convenient. And obviously, a lot of people are very familiar and like the system, the operating system that Sony generally puts out. This is really great. I just wanted to pause it so y'all could take a longer look.
No need for separate remotes to change things like rear speaker volume or sub level. It can all be found right on the TV's quick settings menu. The XR lineup also comes with acoustic center sync. This allows your TV to become the center channel for your compatible Sony soundbar or Sony AV receiver.
Okay, so now with that means that the whole Sony lineup is getting this. So no matter which Sony TV you get, all of them are going to have that center acoustic link That's off the chain, y'all. So you can integrate it no matter which one. Previously, you had to get some of the higher end Sony models. Maybe that works for you. Maybe that does not work for you. And so if it did not work for you, you were left out. This year, Sony's including it. I'm going to tell you right now, Sony so far, just in this intro, is offering a lot of things that I think is going to give them the win. They're going to be expensive now. We got to pay the Sony tax. However, everything that I'm seeing so far, they're really pushing that experience. I'll be very curious. Obviously, we have to wait until we get our hands on Sony. We also have to wait until we get our hands on LG with the G3, see what's what, see what they're really going to give us. But the way that Sony's putting this out, it's pretty buttoned down, y'all.
You can also add an optional Bravia cam and get more control over your ambient settings. Plus, it serves as a high quality webcam. This allows you to take meetings or just keep up with the family. And Sony didn't forget about you gamers out there. With
What?
HDMI 2.1, you'll get 4K 120, VRR, and ALLM support. You'll also get the perfect for PlayStation 5 features like auto HDR tone mapping.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know what HDR tone mapping is, I just wanted to kind of show this. My regulars know what this is, purists know what this is, but I want to let anyone new here, anyone that does not understand anything about TVs, know what this is. So HDR is high dynamic range. It gives you that extra oomph, to make a long story short, that you want to see in content as well as games. So with auto HDR tone mapping, it's essentially going to line everything up for you the way that it should be. You can see over here in this circle with it off, you could barely make out this vehicle. Like, you can see the bumper and the tail lights a little bit, but it's so bright you can't make it out, right? Because it doesn't have the proper tone mapping. So when you're looking in the distance here, if you're able to check the screen out, I'm moving the cursor around, it's hard to see. However, you come over here with HDR tone mapping on, you can see more of the visuals of the vehicle, as well as even make out things on the side here. If you come back on the left, you see how everything is blurred out, or it's so bright it's like washed out. Here you can see the tunnel and the railings and the sign here. You can see a lot more details, all right? And it's just more appealing and visual to the eyes. Even if you look on the left and you see the trees here, they look washed out. You can barely make out what that is. But if you come over here on the right side with it on, you can see it. Also, look at the dashboard while you're driving. You can barely make it out. It's so bright. You come over here on the right with it on, you can clearly see everything. So this is a good perk. It's a convenient perk for you all that have no idea what's going on. You say, hey, I don't know anything about this stuff. I just buy my TV. I just want to be able to plug it up and play. This will automatically work for you. And I just want you to understand what you have available. Okay.
And auto genre picture mode. This is to optimize the picture quality while gaming and streaming. Okay, so I hear you. I hear you all. You want to know what else is new. Well, this year on our 2023 Bravia XR televisions, we're introducing a brand new game menu.
Wait, what? Stop the music. Stop the press. Stop everything. Did I just hear that correctly? Did Sony say they have a game menu? Now, what's interesting is they call it a game menu and not a game bar. LG says theirs is a game bar. Samsung says theirs is a game bar. Sony says theirs is a game menu. So let's see what's on the a la carte.
You heard that correctly. You spoke, we listened. All your gaming controls are found in one place. You get control for VRR settings and motion blur reduction.
I want to pause right here so we could just take a look at the actual game menu. So we got VRR, as he said, motion blur reduction. You have black equalizer. You have crosshair. Then you have crosshair settings, screen size, and then screen size settings. I will say I do not know if there's more available in this menu. I don't know if any of this is customizable. Again, we'll have to get our hands on and see. I do like the fact that Sony listened and is at least providing us with something. However, it does leave me as a gamer with a little more want in that department. in terms of what I'm used to with LG as well as Samsung and LG. I would like to see, what's my frames per second, because it's very convenient information if you're playing on a PC or your console. If you're running certain settings, you want to see if it's putting out what it's supposed to put out and doing what it wants to do. There's a few other things I would like to see, but all in all, these are some of the main settings that get you going, and it's a definite positive step in the right direction. At least we finally have a game menu now on all Sonys. So the only thing, the sky's the limit from here. All they have to do is add a couple of features and tweak. And they may be there. We don't know. I'm just going off of what they're showing us. We'll have to get our hands on the TV and actually see what all may truly be in this menu. But this is definitely a step in the right direction. I want to take a side note real quick, get the comments. What's up, Kim R? He says he thinks the the A95L will be 6,000, brother. I agree. I've been telling people that this TV in the 77-inch is either going to be $59.99 or $64.99. You see what I'm saying? So either it's going to be right at 6,000 or 6,500. I cannot see Sony offering this any less. This reminds me of like A90J vibes, where the A90J had that price tag. And I mean, with everything being buttoned down with Sony, the 77-inch is going to be either 6,500 or 6,000. And I mentioned that on one of the live streams, the Stop the FOMO live streams, when FOMO was on, and I think Whisper Status was on. I don't know if Tech with KG was on. I can't remember, but I know those two were on, and I was talking to them in the comments in the chat section, and they pretty much agreed. The price is probably going to be every bit of 6,000, not 6,500. Let's just use this in comparison. The 77-inch S95C by Samsung is 4,500. It's two bands, y'all. That's $2,000. The LG, it's going to be around the same thing. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's already announced, and I believe the G3 is 40. Let me look real quick. Let me see something. Let me see, because I believe it was just announced. Yeah, 40. Again, same thing. So the 77-inch LG G3 is 4,500. So you've got the competitors. The G3 is 4,500 in the 77-inch. The Samsung S95C is also 4,500. Both Samsung and LG and Samsung are known to drop their prices fairly quickly. They're already essentially, well, the S95C is out. The G3 will be out this month in March. They have plenty of time to discount their prices. And so we have to take that in consideration. What if they go down from 4,500 to 4,000? I'm just saying, very quickly, very soon. And what if it drops to 4,000 before the A95L drops? Because, last year there were delays and we didn't actually get it officially. It kept getting pushed back into July. I'm hoping this year that the A95K is at least out in May, not June or July. We have to wait and see. The actual release dates haven't been announced yet. But nonetheless, just think about that price difference. That's a lot of money for the average person. You can go buy you a sound system for that. You can piece it together. You can buy you a separate TV. Sony is definitely going to give you that picture quality and everything for sure. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. I'm pretty certain, again, they're going to win the shootout. They're going to give you the goods. But it's just something to consider, and consider if this is your main TV. Do you game? What's your use case? Do you plan on keeping this TV for years to come? Hey, have at it. Go for it. Do you plan on updating every year, every 2 years? What's your situation? But just keep that in mind. It's going to be 6 bands to 6,500. I'm positive on that coming out. I don't want to bet, but I'm just saying it's going to be. It's going to cost. And I'm with Kmar. He says, my thing with Sony, if you charge that much, you better bring features to justify it. So again, I agree. We only have, I've heard mixed information. I've heard someone say 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. I don't know about that. I don't know how sure that is. Again, we don't have the TVs in front of us. I don't think so. From what my understanding, it's just 2. from all the publications I've heard of. So I don't know what's up with the 4. Hey, who knows? If it's 4, the more the merrier. I'm all for it. If Sony does have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, hey, I'm all in. But just 2 ports, what I'm seeing with this game menu, they're already lacking a certain amount of features that both LG and Samsung has for gamers. Though this is a step in the right direction, it's still not all the information that I would like to see available on the screen, unless that's customizable or they're not showing us everything. Who knows? We have to get our hands on the TV and see. But we're gonna find out, man. We're gonna find out. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Kmart says it's only gonna be 2. I agree. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue.
You can also adjust the black equalizer, which will allow you to brighten dark areas like shadows so you can see your target easier. There are even multiple crosshair options that stay on the screen so you know exactly where you're aiming at all times. This allows you to shoot from the hip without waiting for the game's targeting system to pop up. And yo, I love that feature. Okay, but that's not all. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, your primary gaming TV is the brand new 85-inch X90L. Now, for some gamers, that's a challenging screen size to play a game on. What if you could shrink the TV down to a normal monitor size, let's say 27 inches? Well, that's exactly what you can do. You can now adjust the size of the screen to something that's more comfortable to game on. And when you're watching movies, you can just go back to the cinematic screen size you love so much.
Now, that feature right there is off the chain. Okay. Sony gets a win for that particular feature right there. To be able to shrink the screen down serves all your needs. You can play on the big screen, you can shrink it down, etc., etc. I think that is definitely a win. Like, Sony is coming with it with some of those convenient and user option features. I have to give them credit for that. They are coming with it. Man, that's definitely a big feature that's going to be talked about.
Now, there are more gaming features to come, so hang tight. But first, I want to talk to you about another Sony obsession.
Okay.
And that's saving the planet.
So he just said there's more gaming features to come. So again, some of the things that I mentioned earlier that we didn't see in that game menu, perhaps is there. He did say it.
That screen size you love so much. Now, there are more gaming features to come, so hang tight. But first, I want to talk to you about another Sony obsession, and that's saving the planet. With that in mind, Sony created the Eco Dashboard. It allows you to change the TV settings that affect the power.
Side note, the music in the background, a lot of these music I've heard in some of the videos that I put out. I just want y'all to know they're using the same instrumentals that I have used in actual video content to show you on my channel. I just noticed that, something that only a content creator will probably pick up on.
Consumption all in one place. As you adjust the settings, the tree in the background either grows leaves or loses them, giving you a visual representation of your environmental impact. And planet lovers, that's not all. This year, Sony is using even more surplus than we did last year, reducing overall virgin plastic use greatly. Okay, just 2 more new items, and then we'll get to the specific models. First is our updated remote.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me run this back. Let's look at this remote. Okay, so the remote's looking nice. It's nice and clean. It's pretty simple. Let's see what he got to say about it.
By the way, it's easier to clean. Also, we've added 6 quick launch buttons so you can easily get to the streaming apps you're looking for. We all know how important it is to access YouTube. And if you like fast, well, you'll be excited to hear that Google Fast Pair is now come to the 2023 lineup of Sony Bravia XR televisions. So no longer is it complicated to connect your wireless device to your TV. All you have to do is put your device into pairing mode, and you'll see a notification pop up on the screen. And it's that easy.
Again, Sony is coming with the convenience for the user. I have to give them credit for that. They're making things very easy, very smooth. They're making the user experience very pleasant. I have to give Sony credit for that. I don't know what LG is going to come with. I'm not saying these things aren't available currently with other TVs, but I just like what they're doing. It is a step in the right direction. I have to give them credit. All right, the lineup.
And now, as promised, the good stuff. We're going to start off with the successor to the award winning A95K, and that would be the Sony Bravia XR A95L QD OLED.
Look at that beauty. Look at that beauty. That's going to be 2023 King of the TVs. That's going to be 2023 King of the TVs, y'all. I'm telling you, look at it now. Because in a couple of months, you're going to see it with a metal around hanging down from the top of the TV. All right, let's check it out, though.
All right, so let's first talk about size. The A95L comes in 55 inch, 65 inch, and new for this year, 77 inch. All with multi-position stands, with the 77 having a three-way position stand. Don't believe me? Why don't you take a look? Now I can imagine.
Wait a minute. So let's look at that real quick.
Look.
All right, so the 77, okay, that's what's up. The 77 has the feet in the middle. I like that. So you can set it on a small table stand. Because that's one complaint a lot of people have had with Sony's. They've had complaints about the stand, like the setup. Like the TV's amazing, but for people to have sound bars and other things, they kind of got in the way depending on the size of the TV that you got and depending on the model. So I mean, this is a positive step. Now, these feet here that prop up with have the sound bar underneath it, it is a pretty flat sound bar. It's a new sound bar, so you have to keep that in mind. But at least they're offering us different configurations. I have to give them credit there.
Now, I can imagine you're probably wondering if the A95L is using the latest and greatest of absolutely everything. Well, the short answer is yes. It's roughly twice as bright as last year. And keep in mind, the A95K is no slouch. Maximum brightness demands maximum color. And that's exactly what you get with XR Triluminos Max. What about Dolby Vision gaming? Yes. Does the A95L offer more gaming features than the rest of the lineup? Yes. It also gets the ability to do two screens at once. So you can game from your PS5 on one screen and have your favorite YouTuber explaining how to beat that game on another.
Now, this is good because Sony's catching up to the competition. This is something that I've already been able to do on my LG, something I can do on my Samsung. They've already had that, and now Sony's catching up to, again, in that gaming space. They're catching up to the competition. So this is good. This is convenient. I have to give Sony credit. They're stepping up on a lot of features, and I think these areas that they're stepping up in is going to make up for a lot of lost ground and give them a lot of points. Just watch when the reviews come out, when we get our hands on the sets and we start talking about it. Watch how everyone's going to be talking about all of these features. I'm stressing the features is what everyone's going to be touting about Sony. Obviously, besides the picture quality and that pristine sound. Let's continue.
You can choose the audio from either or both screens at the same time.
What?
There are even competitive game picture modes for real-time strategy games, known as RTS gaming modes, and another for first-person shooters.
Okay, so that kind of addressed one of my questions where in the game menu that I mentioned earlier, I wanted to see what options were available. They do have these picture modes. So I have to say, hey, they did add that. I still would like to see an FPS. Hello, Sony. If anybody in the Sony world is listening to little old me, all right, we would like to see an FPS menu option or something to show up, even if it's not readily available, something that we can add in and customize. Please listen to that, Sony. All right.
Or FPS gaming mode. This optimizes the picture settings for these types of games, giving you that competitive edge you're looking for. Now, parents, we didn't forget about you. There's also calm mode that adjusts the TV's picture so kids can settle down and maybe even get to bed easier.
What?
The Sony Bravia XR A95L.
Now, let me tell y'all something. If you're not a parent, you probably don't care about that. But for somebody like me that is a parent, that's off the chain. Now, I want to see how well it actually works, but that's a convenient feature. We got to put this into practice, though. But I mean, hey, they're thinking about a lot of stuff because they know kids. If you're a parent, you know, if you got nieces, nephews, whatever, kids gonna keep going nonstop until they drop. So that's convenient.
These types of games, giving you that competitive edge you're looking for. Now, parents, we didn't forget about you. There's also calm mode that adjusts the TV's picture so kids can settle down and maybe even get to bed easier. The Sony Bravia XR A95L also comes with a premium backlit remote as well as Bravia Cam. And dare I say, the A95L might just be the best movie, gaming, and family TV that Sony has ever made. Seeing it for myself is absolutely awe-inspiring. Okay, so what about mini LED? Well, Sony didn't forget about that either. The big difference is this year we're introducing not one but two models.
Mm.
The X95L, which comes in an 85 inch, and the X93L that comes in 65, 75, and 85 inch. Both of these models will absolutely rock your world in terms of color, brightness, and contrast. You see, ever since we introduced Mini LED with XR Backlight Master Drive, this has quickly become one of my favorite backlight technologies. Now, if you're not really familiar with XR Backlight Master Drive, it's actually Sony's best local dimming control system. We unveiled it at CES, man, many moons ago, and we did so on a 10,000 nit LED display. What it does for mini LED backlight control is unlike anything I've ever seen. It promises to deliver Sony's brightest picture possible with great contrast and color with the help of XR Triluminos Pro. All of this tech makes Sony Bravia XR mini LEDs great for the brightest of rooms.
Okay, so we're going to have to put that into practice. I want to get to a comment here. So Kimar says, LOL. I like what he said, that this is the best movie gaming Sony TV ever, not saying they are better than Samsung and LG. I have to agree. That's pretty interesting that he said it the way that he said it. Okay, because I'm telling y'all, the G3 is going to blow your socks off. The G3 is definitely going to be a serious contender this year. With the increased color volume and brightness, it's coming with it. And we've already seen the S95C. As long as Samsung doesn't nerf it, woo. Let me very quickly, let me interject. I don't think this year in 2023 we're going to experience all of the crazy nerfing that we had last year with the S95B. Reason being, that was the first year of QD OLED and it was extremely experimental. And so Samsung was doing a whole lot of things. Not only that, it was literally their first OLED. So they were doing a lot of things, and then they did a lot of updates that were for their QLED line as well as their S95B. So you can't mix QLED technology and OLED. Like, I mean, come on, two different worlds. So nonetheless, I don't see them breaking things like they did like they did last year, this year. But I do understand with people taking them offline. If the TV holds, it is definitely going to be a contender. It's accurate. It's bright, it looks good, etc., etc. We will see, and it's a lot cheaper too. I'm just saying, it's going to be a lot cheaper. Kimar is right. He said he chose his words correctly. He did. He was very correct with his words. I got to give him. I got to give him credit with that. Okay, so and Kimar, one last thing. He said, "Isn't it funny that Sammy actually made the S95C filmmaker mode more accurate than before?" That should be saying something. Exactly. And this is what I've been trying to tell people. I'm going to have to do a separate stream just talking about the S95C and what I believe and what I think the direction is going on. Because I called it last year. I call a lot of these things. I kind of know the direction that they're going on from a business perspective, from me not only being a consumer, me also being a hobbyist calibrator. So I understand things on so many different perspectives and I combine them and I'm just gifted that way. I see where they're going with it. And that's exactly what I saw with the S95B or with Samsung. And Sony did what they did. And LG did what they did. And obviously we have the other players, Hisense, TCL, Panasonic, et cetera, et cetera. But right now we're just talking about these main big three that come up in conversation. For Samsung to come out the gate with this accuracy to be spot on with the reference monitor, that says a lot. That says a lot for Samsung. I'm just saying, it's spot on. It is spot on, even with a calibrated A95K. We're not talking about an out of the box A95K, because the out of a box A95K, it's accurate, but it still needs to be calibrated. Okay, it pushes certain colors, and especially with that QD OLED technology, it'll push the reds more, and et cetera, et cetera. Yes, it looks good, but it still needs to be calibrated to give it that reference monitor look. But nonetheless, let's continue. Let's see what else he's got to say here.
To help in their quest for bright room dominance, they also feature Sony's X anti-reflection technology to help reduce glare and reflections.
Okay.
Not to mention, you get X wide angle, which increases how far to the sides you can sit while still maintaining that great picture quality.
So for those of you that don't know and are not familiar with Sony, Sony has had their XY technology on their TV since the 950H. All right. So it was available there. You can get it on certain models and stuff like that, depending on, again, the model, depending on when you bought the TV. So it's convenient for those of you that don't have OLED. OLED is perfect virtually no matter where you sit. LED, you're going to get some, diminishing returns depending on how far off of the axis, dead smack center that you sit. So the fact that they have this does help combat that. And I want to bring that up for anyone that's new and have no idea what in the world these terms are.
They also come equipped with a light sensor, which adjusts the brightness of the TV based upon your viewing environment. So during the day, the TV is brighter, but then it also has the ability to be dimmer when you need it. All right, so let's take a couple of seconds to talk about the differences between these two models. For starters, the X93L has an XR contrast booster rating of 15.
Okay, now I want to stop right here. The X93L, this is confusing, y'all, is the direct successor to the X95K backlight master drive. Now they have two backlight master drive models, but it is this X93L that is the direct X95K successor. Okay.
While the X95L has a rating of 20. In short, this means that the X95L will have better color and contrast performance. The X95L also gets Acoustic Multi-Audio Plus,
Okay.
borrowing the frame tweeters from our Master Series Z9K 8K TV
Okay.
and improving overall sound quality. Other than that, they both have three-way stands, seamless edge display, and a one slate design. All that means is you're going to get one of the best looking and highest performing TVs that Sony makes, no matter which one you choose. All right, so now let's talk OLED in the illustrious Sony Bravia XR A80L. Not only will the A80L get all of the new features that I mentioned earlier, such as XR Clear Image and the new depth control algorithm, it also will get the game menu as well as the Eco dashboard. But wait, there's more. And when I mean more, I'm talking about available sizes. 55-inch, 65-inch, 77, and new for this year, 83-inch.
What?
So not only do you get all of the picture quality improvements over last year, now you can enjoy them in more sizes. Now, if you want to talk about bang for your buck, well, I got to tell you about the Sony Bravia XR X90L. The X90L is sought after by both movie and gaming enthusiasts. This year, it comes in even more sizes, including a 98-inch. It boasts our latest generation of a cognitive processor XR, plus it's equipped with full array with local dimming LED backlighting that has more zones and an even brighter image than last year's X90K. It also has XR 4K upscaling and XR motion clarity. It maintains amazing picture quality and motion. To maximize color and brightness, you get XR Triluminos Pro and XR Contrast Booster 10, giving you amazing color and contrast. The X90L's local dimming algorithm has been updated with real-world results from our mini LEDs. This has allowed for tighter control of the backlight system, which has resulted in better contrast. And just like last year, you get all the game features that you would expect, but also the new game menu is here too. Also, Google Assistant built right into the TV starts here and continues with most of the new Bravia XR lineup. You also get an updated look with the one slate design and a seamless edge display, just like the X93L, making this a gorgeous TV on the outside with an even better personality.
Yo, I'm impressed by this X90L. Y'all, let's not sleep on this X90L. This X90L, I know it's not the 895L, but let me just say for that entry level segment, that X95, I mean, the X90L is packing, it's loaded. Like, I'm curious to see the prices. That's what I want to see. I want to see the price because the prices are going to determine how much of a winner the X90L is. Again, the prices are going to determine that. If it's priced right, that X90L, a lot of consumers are going to buy that TV. A lot of consumers, they're going to go into Best Buy, whatever their TV place is like, wait a minute, that looks good. You said that got what? It got this, this, this. And how much is it? And what size does it come in? Oh, yeah, bet. Give me that. I'm taking that one home with me. I'm telling you, that's going to be a winner. That's going to be a winner.
And a seamless edge display, just like the X93L, making this a gorgeous TV on the outside with an even better personality. As you can imagine, we're extremely excited about this 2023 lineup of Sony Bravia XR televisions. I know I've already picked out my favorite, but I'd like to hear from you. Why don't you drop me a comment and let me know which TV you're most interested in?
So on that note, I'm going to ask y'all the same thing. How about y'all drop me a comment and let me know which TV that y'all are most interested in here. I know most people are going to say A95L. I mean, obviously, that would be me. If for the main TV, I would go A95L. Again, I just want to see the prices and see what's what and see what they got. But this does look promising for Sony. I can give them a pass on not having a new processor, considering they have a tweaked processor and they've added some more picture processing features, some of which that I don't see the other brands actually having. So when it comes to shootouts and comparisons, this is what people are going to be talking about. They're going to say, "Oh, well, the Sony's got that, clear image. Look at it. It's more clear. I don't see any jaggies. When I do the calibration check, when I put the Spears and Munsell disc, you're going to see all of those types of things come out in conversations. Wow, when I'm gaming, I don't see this. This is clear and this is showed up." When they do lower bitrate content, they're going to be like, wow, look at the upscaling, look at the clarity. So there's a lot here. There's a lot that Sony is offering. They are moving in the right direction. I am glad that this isn't just a repeat of previous year's lineup, that they actually are coming with some extra goodies. I mean, for the most part, we just have to see the prices because the prices are going to determine a lot in comparison to the competition. And also, it depends on your use case. Let me get into the comment section again. KR says they don't want another X908 situation. No, we do not need that. Sony, do not go backwards. Let's move forward. Continue to move in the right direction. Hopefully, we can get them 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. But from my understanding, we still only have 2. So for anybody that's really a serious gamer, like, don't get me wrong, the picture quality is there. I'll say the picture quality and the sound, but it leaves me wanting more when it comes to some of the gaming features. Does it have G-Sync, FreeSync? I know it has Dolby Vision 4K 120, something that, if to my understanding, no other TV has. Okay. I mean, that's to my understanding. I don't know if that's actually the case because the G3 didn't drop yet, and we just don't know. There's still time for other TVs to come out for this year. But nonetheless, it's a promising direction. I just want to see what the prices are in comparison to the competition. That's what I want to see. Let's see, Kmar says A95L. I can't go back to mini LED or LED. Yeah, I mean, I feel you. It's like I'm kind of, unless it's a larger size TV, like larger than 77 inch. So if I was going for like an 83 or 98, like he mentioned, yeah, I'm kind of stuck on either QD OLED or WRGB, like OLED. It's like for me, for my wife, even my son, even he knows. He's like, ooh, OLED. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. In the larger sizes, I can do mini LED all day long, but I just don't know. Not yet when we have the A95L and knowing what it's going to offer. Like, I mean, the A95K was already crazy enough last year. The A95L is just gonna have that extra sauce. I can't wait to actually see it in person. I know it's gonna be crazy. Depending on when and the price, it may actually end up in my household, like actually mine. Um, so I have my eyes on the G3. Actually, I don't know. I have my eyes on the S95C, the G3, and the A95L. I most likely will probably only end up with two of them, although I will review all three at some point in time, or I'll see them at some point in time, or what have you, whether it's literally in my household or I go somewhere else and review it. We'll see what happens. But nonetheless, I have my eyes on two of them in the household. And I just want to see what the G3 is going to offer. I want to get those real numbers. I want to be able to measure it because y'all know I have the equipment and through the paces. I want to see what's what, all of them. And I want to make comparisons to the previous years. And I know other people will do this and we'll truly see what's what. But I mean, hey, Sony's coming with it. I didn't actually think that I would say that, but I have to say Sony to a higher standard because of the prices that they charge consumers, what they, their reputation, what they generally offer us. I hold them to a higher standard. But I'm impressed with what I see here. I really am impressed. So hey, it is what it is. We got it. Can't wait to get our hands on it. We'll see what's what. That's basically all I have to say, y'all. We kind of went through it. I gave y'all some feedback and discussion, as I mentioned. We'll see what's to come. I mean, honestly, I like the lineup. I'm actually impressed. To me, it feels like even the X90L, the base model, is coming with some goodies. I'd be very interested to see what that looks like because last year, their base model, Sony, really came with it. Like it came with it. It was surprisingly good. Like, sure, it had some shortcomings, but for the price and to be entry level, it really came with it. So it seems like they're throwing more goodies even at the base level and all the way up to the top. So we'll just see what's what when they come out. But for now, stay tuned. I have more content to get out to you all. Thank you all for watching and for listening. I will do some live streams in the future. I also have more content coming. If you haven't subscribed, I kindly ask that you do so. Please smash that notification bell. Make sure all is checked. Get the likes up. Feel free to share. Again, share your thoughts with me. Have a lot more to get out, as I mentioned 100 million times, but I'm going to tell you 100 million more. That's what us content creators do. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for doing all you do. Thank you for your time, your energy, your support. You're going to see me move in certain spaces this year that you haven't seen me move, but that's what content creators do. And I thank you all for being with me on that ride, on that journey. So, as I always say, on that note,